Welcome to our channel HD Rare Coin 111, your go-to spot for uncovering the incredible world of rare US coins. If you've ever wondered if your old pennies, nickels, or dimes are worth more than face value, you're about to find out. In today's video, we'll be exploring some truly rare coins and their shocking values. And if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. So let's jump in. Top 1. The Kennedy half dollar has long been one of the most iconic coins in American history, and when we talk about the 1776 to 1976 bicentennial edition, we step into a story that celebrates the nation itself. This coin is more than just metal struck at a mint. It is a living memory of America's 200 years of independence and a tribute to the beloved President John F. Kennedy. Collectors from around the globe are fascinated by it, and today we dive deep into its magic. When the bicentennial of the United States was approaching, the government wanted to create something timeless, something that citizens could hold in their hands and feel connected to history. The Kennedy half dollar was chosen to carry this honor. And so, in 1975 and 1976, the United States Mint struck millions of these coins with a special dual date, 1776. 1976. The design is breathtaking. On the front, we still see the bold and dignified portrait of John F. Kennedy, designed by Gilroy Roberts. His strong profile captures not just his likeness but also the spirit of hope and leadership that Americans remembered. But the true difference lies on the back of this coin. The reverse of the bicentennial Kennedy half dollar was designed by Seth G. Huntington, and it shows a powerful image of Independence Hall in Philadelphia. This is the very building where the Declaration of Independence was signed, where America as a free nation was truly born. Above the hall flies the American flag, and the words, 200 Years of Freedom, echo in every detail of this design. The coin was released in both circulation strikes and special collector's editions. Some were made of copper nickel clad, just like most coins of the time, while others were struck in a special 40% silver composition. These silver issues quickly became treasured keepsakes, bought and stored by families who wanted to preserve a piece of the nation's 200th birthday. Millions of people held these coins in their pockets, and for many it was the first time they felt part of the grand celebration of history. Every time they flipped a half dollar, they were reminded of the sacrifices and victories that built the country over 2 centuries. But while these coins were common in general circulation, rare variations and pristine examples have turned into treasures for serious collectors. Among the most desired are the high-grade proof coins, especially those struck in silver with mirror-like finishes that gleam under the light. Another fascinating aspect is the errors. Whenever coins are struck in such large numbers, mistakes are bound to happen, and with the bicentennial half dollar, certain minting errors became extremely rare. Double dies, off-center strikes, and unusually strong details can send the value of this coin soaring. Collectors have hunted for decades to find the sharpest examples, the flawless strikes, and the coins that remain untouched since they left the mint. The appeal is not just in the design, but in the sense of holding a perfect piece of American history frozen in time. One of the most incredible things about this coin is how it continues to unite people. Generations have passed since 1976, yet families still keep these half dollars in their collections, passing them down as heirlooms. For many, it represents patriotism, family tradition, and pride. For young collectors just starting out, the bicentennial Kennedy half dollar is often the very first rare coin they encounter. Its story is easy to understand, its beauty is easy to admire, and its affordability in common condition makes it a perfect entry into the world of numismatics. But as with all coins, condition is everything. A circulated coin may only be worth face value, but one kept in pristine proof state can be worth hundreds or even thousands. The value climbs even higher when you add the factor of rarity, such as silver versions and special mint errors. It is almost like a treasure hunt. Somewhere out there, hidden in old coin jars, safety deposit boxes, or private collections, could be one of the rarest and most valuable bicentennial half dollars waiting to be discovered. The story of this coin cannot be told without remembering the legacy of President Kennedy himself. After his tragic assassination in 1963, Americans demanded a lasting tribute, and the half-dollar became his memorial. To this day, the Kennedy half-dollar remains in production, though not widely seen in circulation anymore. When you hold a 1776 to 1976 Kennedy half-dollar, you are not just holding money. You are holding a symbol of freedom, leadership, and national pride. Its weight, its size, and its shining design all make it feel far more important than just a coin. Some collectors build entire sets of Kennedy half-dollars, spanning every year from 1964 to the present, but among all of them, the bicentennial issue always stands out. Its dual date is unique, and its reverse design is unlike any other Kennedy half-dollar ever made. Even today, coin shows and auctions highlight the bicentennial half-dollar as a favorite among bidders. Collectors love competing for the finest examples, pushing the prices higher and higher. It shows just how much passion exists for this coin. Beyond value, there is also the emotional connection. The bicentennial was one of the most unifying celebrations in modern American history, and these coins were a part of it. They are artifacts from a time when the entire nation celebrated together. For those who still remember 1976, holding one of these coins brings back memories of parades, fireworks, and patriotic pride. For younger collectors, the coin serves as a gateway to learning history in a hands-on, exciting way. Some of the most stunning examples of this coin are kept in protective cases, their surfaces shining like mirrors, untouched by time. Others remain in circulation, still changing hands 50 years later, quietly passing the legacy of freedom from person to person. Numismatic experts often remind us that coins are storytellers. Every mark, every design, every year of issue tells a story. And the bicentennial Kennedy half-dollar tells one of the greatest stories of all: the birth and endurance of a nation. The appeal is universal. From seasoned collectors to everyday people who stumble upon one of these coins in their change, the sense of wonder is the same. Everyone feels the thrill of touching history. Even though millions were made, the search for that one perfect, rare, high-grade coin continues. Auctions sometimes surprise us with record-breaking prices that remind us of just how valuable history can be. And so, when we speak of worth, we are not only speaking about dollars. We are speaking about legacy, patriotism, memory, and the pride of a nation. That is what truly makes the Kennedy half-dollar so special. But of course, in the world of coin collecting, value also means monetary reward. The rarest bicentennial Kennedy half-dollars, especially in pristine silver-proof condition with unique characteristics, can reach jaw-dropping figures. And the truth is, one such remarkable example has already reached a price so incredible it shocks even experienced collectors. This is where history meets treasure, where a coin becomes a true prize. That highest value recorded for a United States of America Kennedy half-dollar 1776 to 1976 has been an astonishing $200,000. Top 2. The Kennedy half-dollar has always carried with it a sense of importance and dignity. And when we look closely at the 1972 issue, we step into a fascinating chapter of American coin history. This coin, though often overlooked in the pockets of everyday citizens, holds secrets that collectors treasure and stories that stir excitement in the world of numismatics. The year 1972 came less than a decade after the assassination of President John F. Kennedy, and the half-dollar still stood proudly as his memorial. Every coin struck in this year was not just a piece of money, but a reminder of the beloved president whose vision of progress inspired a nation. On the obverse of the coin, we see the bold profile of Kennedy, designed by Gilroy Roberts. His strong features shine through, representing courage, leadership, and hope. Collectors often note how the design captures both strength and elegance, making the Kennedy half-dollar one of the most admired coins of the modern era. The reverse of the coin, designed by Frank Gasparo, displays the presidential seal. The majestic eagle spreads its wings wide, clutching arrows and an olive branch, symbolizing both strength in defense and the desire for peace. It is a powerful image, one that resonates with the ideals of America itself. The 1972 Kennedy half-dollar was struck in huge numbers at several mints, including Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. While the Philadelphia and Denver coins were struck for circulation, the San Francisco Mint created proof versions that shimmer with mirror-like brilliance, especially treasured by collectors. Most of the coins from this year were made of copper nickel clad, as silver was removed from circulation strikes after 1970. However, some special proof issues were struck in 40% silver, and these immediately became popular among those who wanted to hold on to something more valuable than everyday pocket change. At first glance, a 1972 Kennedy half-dollar may seem ordinary, but the deeper you look, the more you realize how special some examples can be. Coin grading plays a huge role here. A well-worn coin may only be worth face value, but a pristine example, free of scratches and full of luster, can be worth much more. Collectors always search for coins with strong strikes, where every detail of Kennedy's hair and the eagle's feathers shine with sharp clarity. Coins like this are rare, and finding one is like discovering hidden treasure. But perhaps the most thrilling aspect of the 1972 Kennedy half-dollar lies in its errors and varieties. Certain mistakes made during minting resulted in coins that are unlike any others, and these rare misstrikes have become some of the most valuable pieces in the hobby. One of the most famous errors of 1972 is the doubled die variety. This occurs when the coin's design is impressed more than once at a slightly different angle, creating a doubled image. When collectors find doubling on the letters or details of the coin, excitement spreads fast, because these coins can sell for astonishing prices. There are also examples of off-center strikes, coins with unusual planchet flaws, and coins with weak details from worn dies. Each of these adds a layer of rarity, making them incredibly desirable to the right collector. What makes the 1972 Kennedy half-dollar especially appealing is the fact that it bridges the gap between common circulation coins and highly collectible treasures. For everyday Americans, it was simply 50 cents. For collectors, it became a symbol of hidden value waiting to be discovered. Even today, thousands of coin enthusiasts sort through rolls of half-dollars from the bank, hoping to find that one extraordinary 1972 piece. The thrill of the hunt is what keeps the hobby alive and exciting. The San Francisco proof coins stand out in particular. Struck with extra care, their surfaces shine like mirrors, and they are often found in protective cases. High-grade proofs from this year can command significant premiums, especially when preserved perfectly, but the Philadelphia and Denver issues also have their share of appeal. In mint state condition, these coins glow with brilliance, and some examples have been graded at the highest levels, making them extremely valuable to collectors who want the absolute best. When we talk about rarity, it is not only about how many coins were made, but how many survive in top condition. Time and circulation have worn most 1972 Kennedy half-dollars down, leaving very few in the near-perfect state that collectors dream of. It is this scarcity in high grades that makes them so valuable. Auction houses have seen bidding wars break out over the finest examples, with prices climbing higher and higher as determined collectors battle for ownership. The Kennedy half-dollar series as a whole is beloved by collectors, but the 1972 edition continues to capture special attention. Its varieties, its proofs, and its history all combine to make it a centerpiece in many collections. Beyond the monetary value, the 1972 Kennedy half-dollar carries immense emotional meaning. For many Americans, it was still a way of remembering a president who was taken too soon, and it represented the ideals of leadership, progress, and unity. The eagle on the reverse reminds us of America's enduring strength, while Kennedy's face reminds us of hope for the future. Together, they make this coin more than just a piece of currency. It is a piece of national pride. Coin collectors often say that every coin has a story, and the 1972 Kennedy half-dollar is proof of that. It tells of a nation in the years after great tragedy, moving forward yet never forgetting its heroes. It also tells of the skill and craftsmanship of the United States Mint, producing coins that remain beautiful and desirable decades later. From the carefully engraved designs to the rare errors, every detail matters. The journey of the 1972 Kennedy half-dollar from pocket change to valuable collectible is one that inspires collectors to keep searching. It shows that hidden treasures can still be found, even in the most ordinary-looking coins. Collectors know the joy of holding history in their hands, and the Kennedy half-dollar offers exactly that. Whether it is a silver proof or a rare error, each coin feels like a direct connection to the past. The excitement grows every year as more people discover the hobby and learn about the hidden gems of American coinage. And the 1972 Kennedy half-dollar continues to be one of the most talked about pieces in this journey. Even decades later, the thrill of uncovering a rare 1972 variety never fades. Collectors cherish these coins not only for their beauty but for the stories they tell and the values they hold. So while to some it may look like just another half-dollar, to those who know its secrets, the 1972 Kennedy half-dollar is a true treasure of American history and numismatics. And when it comes to value, the rarest and most pristine examples of the 1972 Kennedy half-dollar have astonished the collecting world by reaching as high as $190,000. Top 3. The Kennedy half-dollar has always been one of the most admired coins in American history, and when we turn our attention to the year 1973, we uncover a chapter that is filled with rarity, elegance, and collector excitement. This particular year is far more interesting than many people realize, and the coins struck during this time carry stories that continue to fascinate coin enthusiasts today. The year 1973 was just a decade after the Kennedy half-dollar was first introduced in 1964 as a tribute to President John F. Kennedy following his tragic assassination. The coin had already become a symbol of national pride, and every New Year's issue carried with it the weight of history and the memory of a beloved leader. The obverse design, created by Gilroy Roberts, features the iconic profile of President Kennedy. His strong features, confident expression, and determined presence make the coin instantly recognizable. It was meant to be a memorial, but over the years it became much more, a lasting representation of American hope and unity. On the reverse side, designed by Frank Gasparo, we see the impressive presidential seal. The eagle, wings spread wide, clutches arrows of strength in one claw and an olive branch of peace in the other. Around it are stars that represent the states, tying the design to the ideals of the United States itself. What makes the 1973 Kennedy half-dollar especially fascinating is the fact that coins of this year were not released for general circulation in large numbers. Instead, most of them were produced specifically for mint sets and proof sets, which means that collectors had to seek them out directly from the mint rather than finding them in pocket change. This alone makes the 1973 issue different. Unlike other years, where half-dollars were common in circulation, the 1973 Kennedy half-dollar had a more limited presence. As a result, finding one today in pristine condition is both thrilling and challenging for collectors. The Philadelphia Mint and Denver Mint both struck business strike versions for mint sets, while the San Francisco Mint produced beautiful proof coins. Among the San Francisco coins, some were made in copper nickel clad while others were struck in 40% silver, making them especially appealing to those who wanted more than just base metal. These silver proofs, with their mirror-like fields and frosted details, quickly became favorites among collectors. They weren't just money, they were works of art, preserved in protective cases and admired for their beauty. Because of their limited release, the 1973 half-dollars were spared from the heavy wear and tear of circulation. This means that many examples survive in high quality, but it also means that ordinary Americans at the time rarely ever saw them. For collectors today, this creates a sense of rarity and intrigue. People who collect Kennedy halves know that the 1973 issue holds a special place because of its unique distribution and because of the way it connects directly to mint sets and proof collections. The world of coin collecting thrives on details, and the 1973 Kennedy half-dollar offers plenty. From differences in mint marks to subtle variations in strike quality, each coin has the potential to tell its own story. The San Francisco proofs, in particular, have a brilliance that sets them apart. When viewed under light, the mirror-like background and frosted details of Kennedy's portrait sparkle in a way that ordinary circulation coins never could. Even the business strike versions from Philadelphia and Denver are worth noting. While they were not meant for circulation, they still carry the sharp details and strong strikes that collectors admire when evaluating condition and grade. Condition, of course, is everything in coin collecting. A 1973 Kennedy half-dollar with scratches or marks might only fetch a modest price, but one kept in flawless mint state or proof condition can attract incredible attention from collectors and dealers. Over the years, professional grading services have certified thousands of these coins, but only a handful achieve the very highest grades. Those top-grade examples are the ones that ignite bidding wars at auctions, and then there are the rare errors. As with any coin struck in large numbers, mistakes happen. Off-center strikes, double dies, and other unusual errors have been discovered on 1973 Kennedy halves, and these mistakes turn ordinary coins into extraordinary treasures. When such coins appear on the market, collectors rush to get their hands on them. The rarity of errors combined with the already limited nature of the 1973 issue makes them even more desirable. The Kennedy half-dollar series as a whole is beloved, but the 1973 edition stands apart. It is a coin that not everyone has seen, not everyone has held, and not everyone even knows about. Yet, for collectors, it represents one of the hidden gems in the series. This uniqueness makes the 1973 half-dollar a perfect example of how history and collecting collide. It is not just about silver or base metal, it is about the story, the distribution, and the way this coin continues to capture imagination. Every coin is like a time capsule, and the 1973 Kennedy half-dollar takes us back to a moment when the mint experimented with limiting distribution and creating something just for collectors. It is as though these coins were destined to be treasures from the very start, and indeed, many of them have become treasures. In top condition, they shine as some of the most desirable modern half-dollars ever struck by the United States Mint. Collectors who specialize in Kennedy halves often consider the 1973 issue a must-have, not only because of its rarity but also because of the special circumstances of its release. To complete a collection without it would leave an empty space. The thrill of owning a 1973 Kennedy half-dollar, especially in proof silver condition, is something that collectors cherish deeply. It is not just another coin, it is a reminder of how the mint sometimes surprises us with special issues that stand the test of time. Decades after its release, the demand for the 1973 Kennedy half-dollar remains strong. Coin shows, auctions, and online marketplaces all see activity around these coins, proving that they are still highly sought after. As the years go by, fewer pristine examples remain available, and this drives values higher. Collectors know that the window to acquire the best of the best is always closing. Stories of record-breaking prices at auction remind us of just how much these coins can be worth. When collectors see a flawless example up for sale, competition becomes fierce, and the value climbs quickly. And so, we come to the most thrilling part of this story. While ordinary examples may not carry great premiums, the rarest and most perfect examples of the 1973 Kennedy half-dollar have shocked the collecting world with incredible auction results. The highest value achieved for this remarkable United States of America Kennedy half $1,973 has reached an astonishing $180,000. Top 4. The Kennedy half-dollar has always been one of the most admired and collected coins in American history, and when we look at the year 1981, we discover a story filled with heritage, artistry, and the excitement of hidden treasures. This coin carries not only monetary value but also the deep memory of a president who inspired millions. The Kennedy half-dollar series was first introduced in 1964, just months after the tragic assassination of President John F. Kennedy. By 1981, the coin had already become a symbol of unity and remembrance, cherished by Americans everywhere. Each year of issue carries its own importance, and the 1981 half-dollar is no exception. On the obverse of the 1981 half-dollar, we find the bold and dignified profile of President Kennedy, designed by Gilroy Roberts. His forward-looking expression symbolizes vision and strength, and the detail of his hair and features makes this design stand out as one of the most iconic in modern U.S. coinage. The reverse, created by Frank Gasparo, features the great presidential seal. The proud eagle spreads its wings, grasping arrows in one talon and an olive branch in the other, symbolizing America's balance between defense and peace. Surrounding the eagle are 50 stars, representing unity across the nation. By 1981, the Kennedy half-dollar was no longer struck in silver for circulation but in a copper-nickel-clad composition. However, the San Francisco Mint still produced special proof coins, including some made with 90% silver for collectors, and these remain especially desirable today. What makes the 1981 Kennedy half-dollar particularly interesting is that this was the last year before a pause in mint set production. The U.S. Mint did not release mint sets in 1982 or 1983, meaning collectors who wanted pristine examples from 1981 valued them even more highly as the years went on. Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco all struck half dollars in 1981, and each mint mark carries its own appeal to collectors. While most of these coins entered circulation, proof coins from San Francisco were carefully struck with mirror-like finishes and frosted designs that make them shine brilliantly. Collectors are drawn to the 1981 Kennedy half-dollar not just for its beauty but also for the rarity of high-grade examples. Many coins from circulation were heavily used, leaving only a fraction in mint state condition today. Grading plays an enormous role in the value of these coins. A worn half-dollar may only be worth 50 cents, but a flawless gem with sharp detail and glowing luster can fetch significant premiums. The difference between a well-preserved coin and a circulated one is immense. Auction records show that collectors will pay extraordinary sums for the very finest examples. When a coin achieves the highest possible grade from professional grading services, its value skyrockets due to its rarity. The 1981 Kennedy half-dollar is also notable for its proof issues. These proof coins, struck in San Francisco, were produced with extraordinary care, featuring deep mirror-like surfaces and sharp, frosted details. Some of these coins are breathtaking to look at under a light. Among these proofs, certain varieties and errors make them even more sought after. Coins with double dies, unusual toning, or striking flaws have become exciting targets for collectors. Each error adds a layer of rarity and uniqueness. The Denver and Philadelphia issues also saw their share of errors in 1981. Off-center strikes, missing details, and planchet flaws turn ordinary coins into prized possessions for those who appreciate the unexpected in minting. What excites collectors most about the 1981 half-dollar is the combination of history, rarity, and beauty. This was a coin that connected people to the memory of President Kennedy while also providing a chance to uncover valuable rarities. Many families kept 1981 half-dollars in drawers and jars, never realizing their potential worth. Today, treasure hunters still sort through old collections in search of that one special coin hiding among the ordinary. For young collectors, the 1981 half-dollar is often one of the first coins they encounter, sparking curiosity about U.S. history and the art of coinage. Its large size and bold design make it stand out from smaller coins, capturing attention instantly. Older collectors, meanwhile, appreciate the 1981 issue for its place in the broader history of Kennedy halves. By this year, the coin had been produced for almost 2 decades, yet it remained just as popular as ever. The Kennedy half-dollar series as a whole is one of the most collected in modern U.S. coinage, and each year carries its own significance. The 1981 issue is special not just because of its proofs and mint sets, but because of its connection to a time when half-dollars were still seen occasionally in circulation. Even though half-dollars were becoming less common in everyday transactions by the 1980s, people still recognized them as unique and memorable. The 1981 Kennedy half-dollar was often saved rather than spent, making it an instant keepsake. The thrill of collecting these coins comes from more than just their face value. It comes from the hunt for the rarest examples, the errors, and the proofs that stand out as true masterpieces. Coin shows and auctions continue to feature 1981 Kennedy halves, and competition among collectors can be fierce when a top-quality coin appears on the market. Each sale is a reminder of the value hidden in this iconic piece of American currency. The beauty of coin collecting is that it turns something ordinary into something extraordinary. A half-dollar minted in 1981 could have been passed through thousands of hands, yet today, in pristine condition, it could be worth a small fortune. Collectors know the joy of holding history in their hands. When they look at a 1981 Kennedy half-dollar, they see not just a coin, but a story, of a president, of a nation, and of the artistry of the United States Mint. Every coin has a story, but the 1981 half-dollar tells one of transition, of a time when mint sets paused, circulation changed, and proof coins became the highlight for serious collectors. This is why the 1981 issue remains so exciting even today. It is not just a piece of metal, but a marker of history, beauty, and the continuing love of coin collecting. As time goes on, fewer and fewer flawless examples remain, making those that do survive all the more precious. The best of the best find their way into the hands of collectors who know their true worth. And so, the story of the 1981 Kennedy $50 is one of hidden treasures, rare finds, and the continuing fascination with one of America's most iconic coins. It is a coin that reminds us of leadership, of patriotism, and of the timeless appeal of collecting. Whether found in circulation, preserved in a set, or displayed at auction, it continues to capture attention and inspire wonder. And when we talk about value, the most pristine and rare examples of the United States of America Kennedy $1981 have achieved astonishing auction results, reaching as high as $140,000.